All right, cool. So what'd you say that the denominator was going to be? 35. So I'm going to convert this so that the two denominators now have a 35 on the bottom. Okay? So what did I have to do to this 5 for it to become a 35? I multiplied it by 7, right? Now if you remember that golden rule, right? Whatever you do to something, you got to kind of do to everything. So if I did it to the denominator, I got to do it up on the numerator. Oops. So what's 7 times 3? 21. So these two fractions pretty much have the same value, except now I changed the denominator bit, or what the value of that fraction is, okay? Looking at the second part, what did I have to multiply 7 by? 5, so I do it up top as well. 2 times 5 becomes 10, and now I can finally add these, which would be 21 plus 10 35ths, or what is it, 31 35ths? And there you go. Okay? Now looking at number 3, okay? Looking at number 3, denominator is going to be what, 18? 18? Okay. Well, it doesn't have to be 18 because remember, I'm looking for the smallest number that both of those fit into, correct? So if I take this 6 and you look at its factors, that's a 2 times 3, right? So I already have a 3 here and 3 there. So all I really need is that 2, don't I? Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the 3 by the 2, which means my denominator is actually going to be a 6. Simply because that already has a factor of 3, which is being represented there. Remember that bit? Okay? So then I say, okay, well, 3 times something got me to 6. What was it? 2. So I do the same in the top. That becomes a 4. Here, did I really have to change a fraction? So will the numerator change? No. So that becomes a 1, and that becomes 5/6. Okay? You guys remember all that good stuff? A little bit? Okay. If there are questions with the fraction, please let me know. I'd be more than glad to help you out. But that's going to be the idea of what we're doing today, except we get to do with our rational expressions. Okay? So let's go ahead and jump into that. Slideshow. So here's our objective. 1, we're going to add and subtract rational expressions with the same denominator, which was the first problem we did, right? In the bell work. The second thing we're going to do is find the least common denominator, that LCD. And finally, we're going to add, subtract rational expressions with different denominators.
So is this like a throwback lesson?
Technically, a lot of them are throwbacks. We're taking the old skills and we're applying them to things that we haven't done yet. Okay. So it's not really throwbacks. We're building on what we already know. Okay. It's kind of the way math works, doesn't it? You need something? No, hold on to that. Good morning, Alberto. You're so far away from me now. What's up, Christopher Corbin? How you holding up? Yeah. I still can't wake up. I'm like in that point where I know I'm awake, but I'm not like alert. It's called being a zombie, right? All right, cool. Let's get started. So let's start off with objective 1. And objective 1 is to add and subtract rational expressions. So all we need to know here is, do these have the same denominator? And if they do, then we can just add them, right? So take a look at these fractions. Do they have the same denominator? Yeah, so all I need to do is keep that denominator and add the numerators. So what is 7x plus y? Well, I don't know until I figure out what x and y are, so I'm going to express it as 7x plus y. And I'm done. That's it. There's not much more I can do. I've been here for many years and I still don't know. When you start hearing all the announcements about Herb Jones.
Who's that?
Is it Herb Jones? Do you guys do Herb Jones for graduation? What do you guys do?
Kevin Jones?
Who's your vendor?
Johnson?
Johnston.
One do you hate? How do you forget that? I thought you hated him.
Herb. Well, I don't like all of them. They're all just a bunch of thieves. Selling you metal rings for like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
They're made of
Those
metal.
are like 100, 300 on them. I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, a real nice watch with $300. Well, not real nice, but at least it'd be super nice. It won't be no Walmart. All right, cool. Next one. Looking at the next fraction, example B. Are my denominators the same?
Yep.
Then I'm clear to go to the operation, which is to subtract. My denominator is going to be the same because they are just 3x to the thirds, whatever those are. And what is 8 minus 14? It's going to be negative, isn't it? Voila! Actually, am I done? No, we can always go and do that simplifying. I know that these are both, they both have factors of 3, correct?
Yeah.
So, 3 goes into 6 twice. That becomes a negative 2. And I've got x to the third in the denominator. And there we go. Questions? How do they get all the cheese flavor into a cheesy?
I don't know. These chips suck.
Those aren't good? They're not up to par? Are you looking for the date? Yeah, that's what I figured. Cheese it, use that piano. Cheese it, you're kosher.
Are they really? You're lying.
Yeah, I didn't know this. I don't know if you guys know this. You guys ever see a little K with a circle around it? That means kosher. That means kosher. I didn't know that.
I found out something else.
Like, I never cared, but.
Did you know Coca-Cola bottles with a yellow tab, with a yellow top on it? Yeah, that means it's kosher.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oreos or vegan?
And lactose free.
How?
I want Oreos.
They're lard, dude. That's what the cream is. It's just lard.
Yeah.
It's lard with sugar.
You make it out of
And I know because I have a friend who has a boy, and he's allergic to milk. He can't have it, or he's like EpiPen status,
Oh god.
and he can eat Oreos because there's no milk in the cream filling at all, whatsoever. Yeah, I know. My heart breaks. Moving on. Well, that's kind of the fun part for most of us, but he can't. I'm gonna get rid of some of this here so we can see what's going on. Oh, that's already there. Cool. How about this last one? Denominators are good? Denominators are just fine, right? So we're going to get a denominator of, what's the denominator going to be?
R squared minus t squared.
Boom. R squared minus t squared. And for my numerator, r plus t. All right. Can I cancel those r's? No, not the way they are. Can I cancel the t's? No. Is there anything I can cancel here? Yeah, there is. Okay. Take a look at the denominator. What are we looking at down there? Difference of squares, and we know difference of squares factor into conjugates. Conjugates. So you're going to get r plus t and r minus t, and the numerator happens to be r plus t, correct? Oh, that's horrible. Do you see it? And we can simplify this 1 here. So we just end up with 1 over r minus t. Man. I haven't done that in a while. Does that get psyched up again? Man. I'm trying to wake up. I feel like I'm present, but like I'm not alert. Like I feel like I'm just like vomiting words and they mean nothing. And I hate for math to be meaningless to me. You ever feel like you're doing that? You're just like talking and you're like, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just like talking words. No?
All the time.
Thanks, dude. Little pity. Just forget you, Jake.
I'm gonna eat my cupcakes in peace.
All right. Any questions on example C? No? Easy enough? Cool beans. Let's move on. How about you try D then? Ah.
Ew, who are you?
Chewbacca.
You didn't let me finish my sentence.
No, I'm not Chewbacca. I forgot his name. There's more than one Wookiee. There are many, much Wookiee.
We like to laugh right now. I can't even understand what you said.
It'll take long, but it won't take long. It takes a long time, but it's I hate that.
Sumo Bots, March 2nd. Sumo Bot competition.
Didn't you get high?
I think it's when robots fight each other.
Why don't you talk to the manager?
I did. I talked to her every single time. I don't even like working anyways.
You're hired and you have
I did all this work and it was like, just thick. You saw it? I showed you. All day. My first time I can't tell if she's on my stage. Or get like the current course I already knew and just for that. I'm like,
Oh, it's not like your social security like matters.
at all. And not even a little bit.
I'm forced to work.
I have a job right now, so I'm not.
Where are you working? Are you still working? Are they hiring? Really?
Yeah. I don't tell them you're weak there because they call us.
I'm weak. Then what?
Yeah, like Jordan Liu
I'm weak. For managers.
You have to try to practice
Have you never seen a walking brother?
and then try to.
Now they go 9-2, I'm just like, I'm just kidding.
Have you never seen
Actual broccoli is like in a big box like this.
Yeah, Peyton, that's before it's cut.
Well, I always thought
No,
that was
let Peyton be her.
What,
They pick him off the tree that
Oh, thank you. I'm just gonna stop talking.
Hold on.
You're right.
Peyton, I don't know. Does it grow in like stalks or something?
Cabbage grows on the ground.
Yeah. It like grows like this. It's like
Look the same.
no, they don't. No, they do not. She said they look the same.
They do. Yes, cabbage.
Cabbage and broccoli. Yeah.
No, no.
A head of lettuce? What is that called? You're talking about cauliflower?
Cauliflower. See, you guys know what I meant. You guys do.
Wow.
But it was like broccoli. Now it's been like
What? Oh my god. What is that?
I don't know what that is. What is that? What is it then? It's not that.
What is
I
it?
don't know if, okay, so like for us, it's macaroni. It's like soba, but it has like potatoes and
Not sure about the bottom.
What's yours?
Okay.
I'm bad with names. Like I know like.
Give me for this thing from a size 15. Truly or like
Why? I didn't know
two false, true false,
multiplication.
Okay, here's the last one. I think everybody saw that the denominator is the same, right?
Yeah.
So we get x squared plus 3x minus 18. And the numerator, it's really 6 plus x. But I'm going to write it as x plus 6. Is that okay? Just because I want to write it in that standard polynomial form, right? From the highest degree down to the lowest degree. So those are the same. Now, in the denominator, is that factorable? It is factorable. And what you want to do is think about it this way. Let's see, I'm going to leave that x plus 6. See, I've got two binomials. Okay, that's going to factor 2. So now, I'm just using what I know about math already. I'm thinking that this is going to be one of those, right? Because they're going to want me to simplify it. So now all I'll have to do is think about this. That's going to have an x, right? So let's see here. What two numbers are going to multiply to a 6? Sorry, what the heck am I talking about? What two numbers are going to multiply to an 18, negative, and then when I combine them, they're going to have a difference of 3? A negative 3? So let's see here. 6 times negative 3 is a negative 18. 6 minus 3 is definitely a 3. So we're good to go there. And you can see that this will become a 1. Okay, someone's playing music a little too loud. Turn it down, please. Questions on that problem? Cool, let's move on. So difficult. Current slide. So we got that. Let's get out of the way. Okay, find the least common denominator. This is going to be a little bit trickier, okay? We're going to use our factoring skills, and we're going to use them a lot. So it's either going to be common factors, or it's going to be by factoring into binomials, or whatever it is. But that's what we're going to use in order to be able to find the denominators, right? So the way I like to do these is to break them down into prime factors. How do I break down 10 into prime factors? You guys remember the upside down cake thing? Okay, so I would take 10. What prime number can I divide it by? I could do 5. I like to start at the bottom though. So I'm going to start with 2. So I get that, and technically done at this point, right? So that becomes 2 times 5. This is really A times A times A. And for the B, it's really B times B times B times B times B. So I've broken it all up into prime factors. Do that with the second one, and I'll come back real quick. Munoz. Yeah. Second hour. Yeah. Okay. Minutes for you. Okay. That's rustling real loud. All right, next one. What'd you guys come up with? Factorization of 15.
3 times 5.
3 times 5, and then we've got A times A, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So in order to find the common factor, I guess, the common denominator, is to see what they both have in common. And what do they have in common? A 5? Just 2 A's?
Okay.
And what else?
Alright, thank you.
5 B's? Looks like that's all they have in common? So that means that the LCD, or the least common denominator, is going to be 5 A squared B to the 5th. Just the LCD. That make sense? Yes, this might get annoying for you after a while, but after a while you're going to figure out what's happening.
Reconnect.
Reconnected. Yes. There you go. Cool. Next, moving on. Ba, 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 ba. Okay. Let me get rid of this. Woo. How about that one? Z and Z plus 6. What is the common denominator? Yeah, good job, Jake. It's done. Okay, remember, this is just a number, right? Do we know what that number is?
Hey, wait, wait.
Why is that?
What? What is this?
No, the first one.
Why is that?
You
Yeah.
said it was.
What did I do wrong?
30 to the fifth. It's 30.
What did I do wrong? It was the 2 5s.
That's literally
They put the 2 in the LCD.
All right, hold on. Can I undo what I did?
Yes.
I think I went the wrong way, didn't I? So we have, let's see here, 2 5, 1 2 3, 1 2 3 4, 5, 3 5, 1 2, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay.
yeah, we're right.
No, I was wrong. You know what I had you find? I had you find the greatest common factor. That was the GCF. So my bad. I'm out of my fractions. Remember, we're looking for the biggest number, sorry, the smallest number that they both fit into, correct? So, they do have a 5, they have a 3, they have a 2. Let's see here. What's the biggest amount of, actually I shouldn't even circle these 2 5s because that's misleading. Let me see if I can read, I'll rewrite this here. I'll rewrite it. So this is a 2 and a 5, right? This is a 3 and a 5. Okay. So let's take a look at all the factors that are up there, okay? And we're going to find the biggest amount that each one of them has. So up in the numerator, there's a 2, right? What is the biggest amount of 2's that are up here? It's just one of them, right? It's this one. And the 5, of course. And let's see here. Who has more A's? The bottom one or the top one? The top one. Who has more B's? Top one or bottom one? The bottom one does. Okay, now in the denominator, who has more 3's? The bottom one. And is there any more than 1 5? No. So that's it. So we're going to multiply all of this. So 2 times 3 times 5 is 30. And then let's see here. That's 8 to the third, right? And b to the 6. Was that the one? Okay, so there we go. So this is LCD. The last one I did was GCF. My bad. I apologize. I lied to you. Thank you, RJ, for pointing that out.
So wait, 5.
So this is
No, well, just do this. Put a circle around it and say, this is GCF. Greatest common factor. You're going to need that sometimes, too. As GCF. Thank you.
You sound pretty good.
I don't know if that's you, but I'm going to assume it's you. Oh, it says caliper plus. I thought it said caliper cat.
What is this?
It's a pass.
I know, but I don't.
But it says you and somebody else. Brittany, is it Brittany?
I don't know. We don't have that problem.
I didn't think so. But that's you, though.
Brittany Henry? I don't know. Or is that
Hernandez?
a R?
So it's probably you two.
That does not look like Hernandez. There's like 5 letters. Yeah. See,
Wait,
what
where?
does it say?
I don't know if it says Hernandez.
I'm not a
Oh my
my
god.
God.
Don't wish that upon
I
anyone.
don't know. It's up to you. All right, cool. Sorry about the mistake there. Good morning. Welcome back. Questions here?
Hold up.
Question? Okay. Yeah, I will. I messed up. So.
Same.
Really? Both of you? You would have laughed if you were in a bad
I know that move. I'm actually in a good mood.
Wow. I want to catch you in the back.
Braden's the worst when she's in a bad mood.
She's worse?
She's like bad when she's in a bad mood.
Not bad.
No, I'm really mean. Yeah, like really, really mean.
Nice.
I'm only mean when I'm hungry. Anybody else?
I get hangry.
You get hungry and you're like, "Rah."
Or I get a headache, so then I'm angry.
That's all that matters. I don't know why you're trying to.
But I'm just mean because I don't like you.
Oh.
Yes, you do. You like her so much. All right, cool. Moving on. So there we go. What's up?
I'm like, you got that?
No, this one's right.
No, we're talking about something else.
Oh, okay. Whew. Scared me there. All right, cool. So, looking at this one, this is just a factor, correct?
Yeah.
It's just some number. We don't know what it is until we know what z is. Can't be the same number as z because this is 6 more than z, correct? So, again, who has more z's? This one does. Who has more z plus 6's? That one does. So I'm just going to multiply the two. And there you go. I think we need a few more like that. All right, cool. Looking at this one. Let's take a look at this first term. M squared minus 16. I know that that can be factored, correct? Because it's a difference of squares. So I've got m plus 4 and m minus 4. Looking at the other, that's also factorable, I'm pretty sure, because they're having us learn it. So I'm going to go with m. Let's see here, two numbers that are going to multiply to 16 and add up to 8. That is 4 and 4, correct? So, let's take a look at the factors from this one first. Which of the two has more m plus 4s? The second one does, doesn't it? So it's going to be m plus 4, m plus 4. And which of the two has more m minus 4s? The first one does. How many of them? That's it. So that's going to be our LCD, our least common denominator.
Oh my god.
8 more 8.
Layla, did you catch that? I don't need you. Are you being mean? When? She's so nice all the time.
Like it's 8:70. I read it backwards. It was 8:47.
Why are you reading it?
8:70. I didn't mean to. It just kind of happened. Like I clicked on a tab and
Hey, did you catch that?
it just got released. Babe. January 3rd, 2017.
You got released?
Yeah, I went to.
She got released from the prisons.
I need to go.
I'm so confused.
All right, cool. Here's our next example.
Who vanished in 2009? Wow.
Let's try this again.
You were.
Actually, you guys try this one and then come back to you. Try D.
Which one's hot on this side?
Oh my god, there's 3 of them. What is this? I don't know what I think of that. I know. It's gonna get cold. Hey,
You have a sweater on.
you have a sweater and she has sweats on.
And she has what?
Sweats on.
Woo! Look at that look.
I don't
Today.
She's ready to like.
If that door doesn't close in the next 2 seconds, I'm gonna rip his eyes out with a fork, with a pencil.
She probably would.
You don't have a spoon on your face. I don't have a fork.
With a spork.
Oh my god.
It's
Don't
nice
do that
outside.
again.
It's freezing kids outside.
I just want to be nice.
Oh, your case is so cute.
What is it? How is it?
I don't know. The writing on the bottom is cute.
Yeah, but aren't you scared if you drop it? No. Oh. I cracked my tempered glass survey.
Oh.
Tempered glass. Put in one step closer to cracking my screen.
Your glass is so easy.
Nah, they put the 6 camera.
Yeah, I have a cracked camera. Then just
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like
Can you do it? Can you do it real quick?
do what?
What's wrong with you?
I am so mad.
I don't have words for you, Peyton.
No one has words for it.
Wait, what
That's
happened?
not mad. You shouldn't even be able to work both.
You have to have it 8 feet away first. How do you know? Very soon.
I don't know. Okay, let me try.
Further away.
More further away.
That didn't even make any sense.
No, can you point somewhere else?
All that is, it's nice. It like clears up your focuses on like,
That's actually one effect on like art.
Hey, let me take your senior photo of my phone. Oh my god, Peyton. Okay, quit.
But you can stack.
I'm trying to take pictures of sleeping. Where is it gonna go?
I taught her something new. She didn't even use that camera before.
No, I don't ever use my camera.
no one takes selfies on a daily like you take.
Wait, I don't go hiking though. People take selfies for me.
Then they're not selfies.
Oh no, they're pictures of her. So they're selfies.
Oh, there's selfies of you on her phone.
No,
No, there's nothing but selfies on her phone.
her phone.
Oh.
That's pretty egocentric.
Yeah?
Oh, you're.
Wait,
What
what?
does that mean?
Egocentric.
Yeah. But you
Oh,
post it
you
all
know
over.
they should post it.
Yeah, she posts it all over Twitter and Instagram.
Is your
So
wallpaper
what is
picture of you? Is your wallpaper picture of you? Okay, I'll see that.
Are you sure about that?
I need to see your wallpaper.
Wow. You could just have Maddie.
Hey, it's her and her bestie, right? Chill.
Right.
I mean, that'd be a little weird to just have a picture of Maddie on your phone, like just Maddie. That'd be a little sketch.
I'm surprised it really is.
It was Hannah for a while. Hannah, because she. Oh, it was right.
Savannah.
All right, let's start by factoring these.
We have nothing but
Looking at the first, look at the first polynomial. What does that factor into? Yeah, x minus 1 times x minus 1. The next polynomial factors into x plus 3? Yeah, it would be a minus 3 because they're going to multiply to 3. So minus 3 and x minus 1 multiplies to that. They add up to that, so we're good. Looking at the last one, I can factor out the common factor of 4, and I'm left with x minus 1. So then I go back and ask myself, okay, this has 2 x minus 1s. Any one of those have more than 2 x minus 1s? And they do not, so x minus 1. Can I do this? Is that cool with you guys? Let's see here. This has x minus 3. Any one of them have more than that? No, so I need an x minus 3. And I also need a 4 for that one, don't I? Is there anything else that I missed? There it is. LCD.
I'm hungry.
you legit see don't toast.
Alright, cool.
Come get her, came on, and I thought of your mom. Ew, stop. So gross. So gross.
I moved you. I moved you. I'll tell you a little bit. Whoa, commentate. She looked mad.
No, I'm not.
She is. No, you looked when you came in like,
Mariah Carey.
I don't know. Where?
it's not bad, it's good. You didn't, you're fine.
It's okay, I'm fine. Can I define that what happened?
All right, can I move on then?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's go to the next slide. All right, cool. Pop. All right, here we go. Real deal. Real deal. This is what they're going to look like. So let's take what we've done in the first objective, second objective. Let's apply it here. So before I can add these fractions, what's the question? I need a common denominator. So the idea is, okay, this has an m, but this also has an m. So I'm going to need an m in the denominator, correct? What else am I going to need? A 4, because this one has a factor of 4. So there's my denominator. And then I go back. Did this change from this to that? Sure did. What did I have to multiply by? 4. So do the same thing up top. 4 times 6 is a 24. Did this denominator change here?
No.
So will the numerator change?
No.
So that's a plus 1. That becomes 25 over 4m. And we're good to go. What happened? We're starting off baby steps.
Yeah,
And then we're gonna do homework, and it's gonna be like steps.
He's like,
It's like kind of.
He's like,
You're
yeah,
not wrong. As Pam said earlier.
What?
It won't be bad.
Yes, it will.
I don't even know
What is wrong with you guys?
It will be bad if you say it's
Don't
bad.
be rude.
That is bad.
It's not bad.
It's bad as I said it was.
Look at Krispy Kreme, like.
All right, cool.
I gotta get you home.
Okay, looking here. Next example. Are these two numbers the same number? Is y the same thing as y plus 4? No. So I'm going to need both of those for my denominator. I'm going to need y times y plus 4, don't I? Okay, so that's my new denominator. And then I need to check. I'll just pause a little bit. So there's my denominator. It's just the product of the two, right? Okay, so now I say, did y change from here to this denominator? Sure did. What did it get multiplied by? Y plus 4. So 2 times y plus 4. There it is. Minus, because there's a minus right here, see it? I am minus. Minus, let's see. Question is, did y plus 4 change?
Yep.
Yes, it did. To this denominator? Yeah, what does it have now? The y, doesn't it? I multiplied it by y. So multiplied by y, that means I got to do it up top. So I'm going to get 1 times y there. Any questions here? That looks a little sloppy up there. Still got to clean it up though. We still have to clean it up. You guys ready for that? Okay. Looking at the green part. This is a distributive property, right? I'm just going to go 2y plus 8. And this is minus y. And the denominator I've got y times y plus 4. Look here. What's y minus y?
5.
So I've got y right here. Let's go. I'll use another color. Y. And then plus 8, correct?
Yep, over y.
And the denominator I've got y times y plus 4.
Why do your fours look like 8s? Well, that one does. Oh,
Like it skipped time. I'm gonna have to. I'm just being lazy. I'm sorry.
you're fine.
I gotta be.
I know what it is.
I used to make my 4s like the little triangular ones, and then it wasn't looking good. It was starting to look like. Yeah, people were like, that looks like something else. My Y's too. My Y's started to look like X's, so I started doing a little swoopy thing. Yes, like fishing. Like fishing alphabet soup. How was this one? Not so bad? So we can do a tougher one? Well, I want to make sure you guys can see it before you guys do your homework. Okay. You guys done copying here?
Yes.
All right, cool. Moving on. Okay. Cool. Let's try to do this one. Oh, look at that. Denominator's the same, right?
Holy cow.
Denominator's the same. So
That just changed my life.
2x plus 7. All I have to do is take this polynomial and subtract that polynomial. It's gonna look like this. 5x plus 7, and then over here it's gonna become plus x plus 14. Why did it become plus x plus 14? Because of that negative up front. Okay? You're gonna have to distribute it. And then just clean it up. So let's see here. 5x and x is a 6x, right? 7 and 14 is a 20 Juan. And then you've got 2x plus 7. Are we done at this point? I feel like it's not.
Did you like simplify?
Some simplifying how?
They're all one.
Here I could factor out 3, couldn't I? Common factor of 3. That would give me 2x plus 7. And the denominator happens to be 2x plus 7. Woo! That becomes a 1. So that's just 3. That's a fancy 3, if I ever saw one.
Hey, where's your phone? She don't even know where it's at. Look at her. Like, it's
I don't want to know where your phone is.
It's barely 9.
Hey, that doesn't matter.
My
You
dad
don't
asks too
know.
many questions. I'm just like, you
That goes.
All right, cool.
You don't know what's going on. She's been up since 5. It's basically.
Here we go.
lunchtime.
Next one. Watch me do it. These are two different numbers. So the easiest way to get a common denominator is to multiply the two numbers, right? So my new denominator is going to be r minus 2 times r minus 1. Here I'm going to fix my numbers. This did not have the r minus 1 part, correct? So I got to do it to the top. So 2 times r minus 1. Do you see it?
Yes.
Cool beans. Minus, why minus? There's a minus. Why what? Oh, this is not a joke?
No.
Why is it minus? It's minus because there's a minus right here.
I get that.
Yeah.
Why are you confused?
Wow.
That's funny.
No, I.
She's being
Wait,
serious.
keep going. Maybe I'm just. Okay.
So
You're not gonna count.
minus r plus 3. This denominator changed, didn't it? We multiplied it by the r minus 2 part. So we have to multiply this by r minus 2. Okay?
And then you simplify it, right?
And then you simplify it.
You're not wrong. I'm confused about it.
Why? What part? You shouldn't be.
2r minus 1.
Okay, let me do it this way. Let me do it this way, okay? I'm going to change these. So my new denominator now is r minus 2 times r minus 1. Is that cool? And there was already a 2 there, wasn't there? Now, how did this change to become this? How did this denominator change to become that one? What did I multiply by?
R minus 1.
So I need to do it here, r minus 1. And then there's a minus because I'm subtracting the two fractions. Okay? And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I know my denominator is r minus 2 times r minus 1, correct?
Yes.
There was already a r plus 3 there. What did this denominator get multiplied by? The r minus 2, correct? So this becomes, I need to do it to the top as well, r minus 2. So I notice these have the same denominator. Okay, I kind of skipped a step altogether, didn't I? So these two fractions have the same denominator, which means I can write them like that up there. Right? I can just put everything under the same denominator.
Yeah.
Did that first step help? Some people? No?
Now that one.
This one confused you?
Easier when you talk about
For some people, for some people. For some people. So, yeah, some people find that more confusing.
I don't even know what it is.
No, there's a few people that use it as for notes now. So whatever homework you do, oh no. I'll tell you, hold them. Because then I'm getting a lot of paperwork up there. I made that mistake last week. Hold that.
On our boat?
Hold it till Friday and then I'll collect all of them together.
Wait,
All of
You
them,
know?
all you're asking me to do half sheets. But you want me to keep track of all of these half sheets until Friday?
Better you than me.
I'm not good at this.
I said it. And it's recorded. Better you keep track of it than me. Guys, homework will be up in a few.